everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to make an envelope pillowcase. So if you have an old pillow kicking around that you want to snazz up a bit, this is a quick and easy way to be able to sew up a new case for it. So an envelope pillowcase is a case that doesn't have any zippers or snaps or anything to hold it together. It just goes around your pillow like an envelope. So you have to make sure that you have enough fabric that you can have it go all the way around, and it needs to overlap so that you actually do get the envelope effect. So this flap will have to come up over the envelope. I have left about 2.5 inches on the sides of the pillow here of fabric, and that's pretty much what you need to do to get started. So first we'll get rid of our pillow. What we need to do is fold over this edge and pin it in place. So you take the wrong side of the fabric and you have it face up. You have the right side of the fabric face down. So you just make a fold and you pin all the way along. And this is on one of the short sides. And that's where we're going to sew the first part. So after you've pinned it, give it a press with your iron, just so that it stays in place for sewing. Alright, now we're ready for our first part of the sewing. So we're going to start sewing up the first short end. You can put your presser foot down. And of course you're going to be sewing it with the wrong side of the fabric facing up. So your fold is up and visible. And make sure you go in reverse so that you can fasten your seam in place. And just remove your pins as you go.
She called me up today, meet me down at the old cafe.
When you get to the end, you can sew by hand with your knob on the right hand side of your sewing machine, and then reverse again so you can set your stitching in place, and then come back forward. And you're done your first sewing part. So now we've sewn up our first short side, so we have to do the same thing on the other short side. So again, the wrong side of the fabric will be facing up, the right side of the fabric will be down on the table, and you're going to fold over your edge and pin it in place for sewing. Since I have this edge here, I can tell you who this fabric is by, because usually they'll tell you on the edge of the fabric. This is City Girl by Kitty Yoshida. It's quite a cute little pattern.
Meet me down at the old cafe. I jumped into the shop. I was getting my marching orders.
Okay, so we're ready to sew our second short end. So we'll just put it under here, push our presser foot down, and if you do have any more questions about basic sewing stuff, like how to set up a sewing machine, how to thread it, that stuff, let me know, because I can post a video about that too. Alright, here we go. And again, don't forget to reverse. And remove your pins as you go.
Step into my office, baby. Wanna give you the job, chance of overtime. Say my place at night.
So now this time we put our cloth down right side up, so the proper side of the fabric is facing up. I'm going to grab the pillow that we're going to be making this for, put it in the center, and then fold the ends over. So you can see that the wrong side will now be facing up. So what I'm going to do is line up the edges over here and just pin them in place. This is where my amateur sewing skills become quite apparent. I'm sure there's some technical way to do this by measuring out how much you're going to need and all that, but this works just fine. I'm going to pin the other side the same way, just to keep the flaps in place that are going to be overlapping each other. Okay, so now back down at this end, I'm just going to line up the fabric and pin these two together. Now the pins are going to be my guide as to where I'm going to be sewing. So as I'm pinning, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm going to sew along the pin line, and let yourself know if you're going to be sewing to the right or to the left of the pin line, either towards the inside or towards the outside. And how you will determine that is where you'll need to sew to make sure the pillows can be nice and snugly inside of its case. Alright, so I've pinned up that end. I'm just going to slide the pillow out. And I'm just going to make sure that everything's pinned okay. And I'm going to be sewing along the pin line. So we're ready to sew along our long side. So our folds are going to be sewn right over, you know where the overlapping part of the envelope is? We're just going to sew right over top, so it's going to be a little bit thick in some parts. That shouldn't be a problem.
She never stand for any